Hello, my name is Martin and welcome back to another video. So I'm in Phillips Park Cemetery. Just a quick video. I've come to this place because it's very picturesque. Keep coming to these cemeteries, don't I? But I wanted to have a look round, and the Medlock goes into a culvert down here. So I wanted to have a quick look round, have a look at the Medlock culvert. So it's going to be one of a few videos where I chase the Medlock into Manchester to where it ends at the River Irwell. Now I've looked at the route and it looks like quite a difficult route, to be honest with you, but I didn't want to come too far out of town, so I've come to Phillips Park Cemetery just to have a quick look around and just to have a look at this culvert. And the cemetery is quite picturesque as well. So let's have a quick look round. The culvert is down here, but I'm quite high up from it. Now, I also did film this video about 2 weeks ago. I started filming this video, so there might be continuity issues with the weather because today it's a really sunny day, and when I came 2 weeks ago it was throwing it down. So forgive the continuity errors, but I've had to come back just to finish this video off. I ran out of light that day, believe it or not. Obviously these short winter days, I came in the afternoon, tried to follow the river too far, ran out of light and had to abandon it. So we'll do a short video today. We'll have a quick look around Phillips Park Cemetery. There's a little bit of history here. Want to check out the culvert, like I say, and let's have a look at the river. So risking life and limb, again on the slippy sort of embankment, I had to see this this culvert. This probably wasn't the best place to see it from, but I went through the bushes, got caught, got nearly slipped and all sorts of things and fell over in all that mud. But I'm glad I did, because there is the Medlock culvert there. Look at that. That's the Medlock culverted. Quite scary. So I wanted to get as near down to sort of river levels. So you see that gap there? I walked round into Phillips Park and found where that gap was and got down to river level. I've come round the other side. I'm down in the culvert now. Excuse the act, it's just been hailstone and it's freezing. Right, let's have a walk along here and have a look at that culvert down at the actual level. Okay, so we're here. This is as far as we can go. I'll just show you now. Look at that. Focus. So that's just, so you can see the water comes up here, and imagine the way we've come. In real times of flood, the water comes right up here as well. So this is about as far as we can get at the minute, and there's the culvert. So I've come back a different day. We just had a bit of a dry spell. So where you saw me just then, and it was raining and the river was really right up to the edges, I've managed to get much further towards the culvert than before, almost into the culvert. This is where we are. Look at that. Feet in the water. Looks like there's a little drain or stream that joins it there, and that's where I was up there when I initially looked at it, when I was on that slippy embankment. Now all last summer I was driving past this place, and there's a little sort of chapel up there that's really disused and all broken down, and I thought we might be able to get in, but it's quite well fenced off. But I've come to get a few pictures of it because it looks quite an eerie place. Okay, here's a story for you. You see how the sort of graves come towards the edge of the culvert of the Medlock. Well, if you go back maybe about 400 years, I think I read this story in the Manchester Evening News, maybe if you go back about 1600, about 400 years ago, I think the Medlock, well obviously the Medlock wasn't culverted at the time, and it's brick culvert, and I think the land was closer, probably ran closer down towards the Medlock rather than the drop that it is now, and the graves were packed tightly right towards the edge, close to the banks of the Medlock. And apparently there was a flood, and the waters of the Medlock rose and started washing away the bank, and of course washing away the graves, and the coffins were sort of like floating down into the Medlock and the long stream, and ended up being found as far downstream as almost the city centre. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the contents of coffins and things like that being washed down into the city centre? It must have been grim, absolutely grim. This whole area, this is East Manchester, east of the city centre, and it used to be very, very industrialised. You can see the old gasometers from all the gasworks and everything. And where you're looking now, just as we shift around there to Man City Stadium, that was the site of Bradford Colliery, the old Bradford Colliery. Now, Bradford is a city obviously in Britain, but it's also an area of Manchester, and that's where Bradford Colliery used to be, right on the grounds of Manchester City there. And this road here, that is Alan Turing Way, a really big dual carriageway, part of the Manchester Outer Ring Road, and the way to Asda for many people, is for me, used to look like this, if I've got my facts correct. And what an atmospheric picture, what a fantastic picture. Really, really sort of grey, industrial, but a brilliant picture. I love that picture. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the map and see where we've been. The red arrow at the top there denotes where we stood and looked at the culvert of the Medlock. That's the Medlock going into the culvert. The blue line is the Medlock in the culvert. If you look down to the bottom of the screen, the yellow arrow is where Bradford Colliery used to be, in the car park or on the grounds of Man City's stadium. I never saw it, unfortunately, well before my time, but apparently concreted over in the car park of Man City Stadium is a big shaft that still goes down to a tunnel, and you see the tunnel over on the right there is denoted by the grey line. At the top of the screen you'll see a green arrow, that's pointing to a gasometer, and we'll have a look at that later in the video. Now, despite sitting on vast reserves of premium quality coal in the Manchester coalfield, Bradford Colliery closed in 1968. One of the reasons was that it became very, very uneconomic, and it was causing lots and lots of subsidence by the early 60s. And apparently for each tonne of coal extracted from the colliery, 5 shillings and 2 pence had to be paid in compensation for surface damage. Indeed, apparently 11 council houses were so severely damaged by subsidence in Miles Platting they had to be completely demolished. And unfortunately, Bradford Colliery became a victim, and alas, I never saw it. It was long gone by the time I went anywhere near this area. Now, I don't know about you, but I quite like gasometers. I think they're quite iconic, and some of them are actually listed buildings. But the other day I was looking at the Manchester Evening News website and I saw this headline. The 2 giant industrial landmarks on Bradford Road near to the Etihad Stadium could be converted into something new or eventually demolished, although the council is remaining tight-lipped on its exact plans. Now, who knows what will happen to these things? There's certainly sort of landmarks here in East Manchester, but if they do take it down or they do dismantle it, I want to drink it in completely before it goes. It might not go immediately, but maybe in the coming years. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so for the next thrilling instalment of Chasing the Medlock into Manchester city centre, I shall be trying to take up the journey from where the purple arrow is there. Now that is where the Medlock comes out of that culvert that we saw it go into, and I've already checked out the area and it looks quite difficult to get access to it, but we'll see what we can do. It'll be another adventure. Now here's my disclaimer, I'll get round to it when I get round to it. So this little series of Chasing the Medlock will just unfold gradually. I'm not necessarily saying it's going to be the next video, but thanks for watching. I've basically run out of daylight on this video now, so like I say, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you very soon in the next video. Take care.